Commander Olivia Reeves had been on enough missions to know when something was off. The colony on Proxima Centauri b had gone silent 3 weeks ago. Standard procedure dictated a small reconnaissance team, but Fleet Admiral Jackson had insisted on sending the USS Valiant, their newest destroyer. Now standing on the bridge as they approached the planet's orbit, she understood why. The atmosphere was teeming with unknown vessels, their designs unlike anything humanity had encountered in its 50 years of space exploration. They weren't the elegant constructions of the Arcturians or the crystalline ships of the Vega Confederation. These were twisted, malformed things that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. "Scan complete, Commander," said Lieutenant Zach Howard, his voice tight. "No human life signs on the surface. Colony infrastructure is intact, but there's something else down there. Thousands of biosignatures. Nothing in our database matches." Olivia gripped the edge of her command chair. 10,000 colonists. Gone. But not destroyed, taken, consumed. The bridge crew looked to her for guidance, for some semblance of the confidence that had made her legendary among the fleet. "Prepare a ground team," she said finally. "I'll lead myself." Chief Security Officer, Greg Mitchell stepped forward. "Commander, with all due respect, fleet regulations specifically prohibit—" "I'm well aware of regulations, Chief," Olivia cut him off. "But those are our people down there. Or they were. We need to know what happened." The landing shuttle cut through the atmosphere past the alien ships that seemed curiously uninterested in their arrival. The colony came into view, pristine buildings, immaculate streets, and not a soul in sight. "It's like they just vanished," whispered Medical Officer Kimberly West. As they touched down in the main plaza, Olivia felt it, a sense of being watched by countless eyes. The team moved through the colony, weapons drawn, scanning every shadow. The biosignatures were everywhere, yet nowhere to be seen, until they reached the central administrative building. The doors slid open automatically, revealing a scene that would haunt them forever. The creatures, if they could be called that, filled the vast chamber. Bipedal, scaled, with too many joints and eyes that reflected no light. They surrounded a group of colonists who sat perfectly still, expressions blank, and in the center stood what could only be their leader, taller, more terrible, with appendages that seemed to phase in and out of visibility. It turned toward the entrance as Olivia stepped through, its mouth opening to reveal row upon row of needle-like teeth. "Humans," it hissed, the word somehow echoing in their minds rather than their ears. More specimens for the convergence. Olivia stepped forward alone, her team frozen in the doorway. "I am Commander Olivia Reeves of the United Earth Fleet. You are holding Earth citizens against their will. Release them immediately." The creatures' laughter reverberated through the building, through their skulls. "Your species amuses us, Commander. So frail yet so defiant." The others begged. "Will you beg too?" Olivia met its gaze, unflinching. "I don't beg. I negotiate. Or I eliminate obstacles. Your choice." Something shifted in the creature's stance. The faintest tremor, almost imperceptible. It studied her with newfound attention. "Interesting," it said finally. "You are different." 2 days passed since the first meeting with the aliens. Olivia had set up a base in what used to be the colony's security office. The Morsoth leader, who called itself the Emissary, had allowed her team to stay on the planet. The alien ships, in orbit, still ignored the human vessel Valiant. Olivia sat across from the Emissary in what had once been the colony director's office. The creature's body still flickered in and out of focus, making her eyes hurt to look at it too long. "Why these people?" Olivia asked. "Why this colony?" "Your people were in our path," the Emissary answered, its voice still that strange feeling in her mind rather than a real sound. "We travel the stars looking for new minds to study. Your kind has patterns we have not seen before. You're keeping them frozen somehow. Like statues." The emissary's head moved in a way that wasn't quite a nod. "We keep their bodies safe, while we study their thoughts. No harm comes to them." "And after you finish studying them?" Olivia asked, though she feared she knew the answer. The creature's head tilted at an angle that should have broken its neck. When we have learned all that makes them special, they will join the convergence. Their thoughts will become part of our whole. That's not going to happen, Olivia said firmly. Back at their temporary base, her team worked to understand the aliens. Medical Officer Diane placed sensors on the table that showed readings from the Morsoth. They give off some kind of energy field, she explained. It seems to connect directly to human brain patterns. That's why the colonists are frozen like that. Can we block it? Asked Security Chief Greg. Communications Officer Lisa shook her head. Maybe, but there are thousands of them. We'd have to block them all at once or they'd just adjust. The emissary is the key, Olivia said, studying the readings. The energy is strongest around it. I think it controls the rest somehow. Diane looked up from her scanner with a puzzled expression. Commander, I'm seeing something strange in your readings. When you're near the emissary, your brain patterns change, but not like the colonists. It's like you naturally resist their influence. Olivia had felt it too, a pressure against her mind when near the creatures, but nowhere near as strong as it should be, based on what happened to the colonists. We need more time, she decided. And I need to learn more about the emissary. The Morsoth seemed just as curious about her. Each day the emissary allowed longer meetings. They talked about life, thinking, and what it meant to be human. Olivia pretended to want understanding, but she was really searching for weaknesses. On Ari, the fourth day, the emissary made a strange offer. You interest us, Commander Reeves. Your mind fights our touch in ways the others cannot. We will make a trade. Come with us willingly for study, and we will free half of the colonists. Olivia kept her face calm. All of them, or no deal. Not possible. Your value, while great, is not equal to all of theirs together. Then we have nothing more to talk about. Olivia stood to leave. Wait. The emissary's body rippled like water. There is another way. The convergence has allowed a test. If you pass it, we may change our terms. What kind of test? The emissary's mouth opened in what might have been a smile, showing those terrible teeth. We have studied what humans fear. We have created a place based on the fears we found in their minds. Find your way through our maze of terrors, reach the center room, and we will talk again with new rules. Olivia knew it sounded like a trap, but they were running out of time. The Valiant had spotted more Morsoth ships arriving every day. Meanwhile, she had ordered her team to prepare a backup plan. If she failed, they would try to overload the colony's power system to create a massive energy burst. It might disrupt the Morsoth's control long enough to save some of the colonists. It would likely destroy the colony too. But that was better than losing everyone. Before giving her answer, Olivia asked a question that had been bothering her. What are you really? Why do you take mines? The emissary was silent for a long moment. When it spoke again, its mental voice seemed somehow sadder. We were once like you, separate, alone in our own heads. Then we found a way to join our thoughts, to become more than single minds could ever be. The convergence is everything, all knowledge, all experience. But it hungers for new thoughts, new ways of seeing. Without them, it would think the same thoughts forever. So you take other species to feed this convergence. Yes, we give them eternity as part of something greater. But they lose themselves. They stop being who they were. The emissary tilted its head again. Is that not what happens to all beings eventually? You humans die. Your thoughts end. We offer continuation. Olivia shook her head. Not like that. Not by force. Our thoughts are our own. Our choices make us who we are. The creature studied her. You truly believe this? I do. And I'll prove it. Olivia straightened her back. I accept your test. The emissary seemed pleased. Good. Tomorrow we will open the labyrinth. If you reach the center, we will discuss new terms. That night, Olivia met with her team to explain the plan. None of them liked it. It's suicide, Greg said, pacing the room. They're setting a trap. Maybe, Olivia agreed, checking her weapon. But it's our best chance. While I'm in there keeping them busy, I need you to finish setting up our backup plan. If I don't come out in 3 hours, contact the Valiant and start the power overload. Diane handed Olivia a small device. This will track your brain patterns. If they start to change too much, I'll know they're getting to me, Olivia finished. She put the device in her pocket. Lisa looked at her with worry. What if they can create anything? How do you fight that? Olivia thought about it. They can only use what they find in our minds. They can't create what they don't understand. She smiled slightly. And there's one thing I don't think they understand at all. What's that? Asked Greg. Hope, Olivia said simply. These creatures take minds, but I don't think they understand why we keep fighting even when it seems hopeless. That might be our advantage. Early the next morning, Olivia stood before the emissary again. Behind the alien leader, a doorway had appeared in what had been a solid wall. Beyond it was only darkness. The labyrinth awaits, the emissary said. It reads your fears, Commander. It will show you things designed to break your will. Reach the center and we will talk again. Olivia took a deep breath and looked back at her team one last time. Then she faced the darkness and stepped forward. See you in 3 hours, she said. The structure had not been there yesterday. A massive black building now stood in what was once the colony's main park. It looked like it was made of black glass that absorbed light instead of reflecting it. It pulsed with the same strange energy as the Morsoth ships. Good luck, Commander, Greg said as the team stood before the entrance. His face showed he thought she would need more than luck. Remember the plan, Olivia replied quietly. 3 hours. If I'm not out by then, start the power overload. Diane checked Olivia's neural monitor one last time. This will help us track your brain patterns. If they start to change, I'll know they're trying to take over my mind, Olivia finished. She straightened her uniform and faced the entrance. 3 hours. The emissary waited for her at the doorway. The labyrinth reads your fears, Commander. It will show you things designed to break your will. Reach the center and we will talk again. Olivia stepped past the creature into darkness. The entrance sealed shut behind her. At first, she could see nothing. Then light slowly came on, revealing a corridor that looked like the inside of a ship. Not just any ship. It was the Defiant, her first command. Olivia felt her heart beat faster. This was where she had made her worst mistake. The scene began to play out before her. A pirate attack on a civilian transport. Her hesitation that led to 19 people dying. But this time, something was different. The dead crew members rose from their stations and turned to face her. Their eyes were empty like the colonists, and they moved toward her with accusing looks. Not real, Olivia muttered to herself. She forced herself to walk forward directly toward the apparitions. They dissolved like smoke when she touched them, but the guilt remained. The Morsoth had pulled this straight from her memories. The corridor changed, and she found herself in another familiar place, her childhood home. She could hear the crackling of flames, see the orange glow under the door. This was the night of the fire that killed her parents. She could hear them calling for her. Commander Reeves? A voice cut through the illusion. Lisa's face appeared in the air next to her, looking like a ghost. We're monitoring your vital signs. Your heart is beating fast but steady. The brain patterns show you're fighting their influence. Lisa, how are you? Diane modified the neural tracker to let us talk to you. We can't do it for long. The backup plan is ready. 25 minutes until we need to start. Lisa's image flickered and vanished as the burning house faded around her. The Morsoth were testing her mind's resistance to their power. Each new room showed her a different fear or bad memory. Some were personal moments from her past. Others were strange shapes and creatures that seemed impossible, things that hurt her eyes just to look at them. Through it all, Olivia pushed forward, focusing on her goal. The next room was the most clever trap. It showed the fleet headquarters, back on Earth. Admiral Paul, her superior officer, sat behind his desk. "Olivia," he said kindly, "you've done enough. You've tried your best. No one would blame you for ending the mission now. Come home. The promotion you've been waiting for is ready." Olivia studied the fake admiral. He looked almost perfect, but his movements weren't quite right. His words were too perfect, saying exactly what part of her wanted to hear. "The real Admiral Paul would never abandon our people," she said firmly. "And neither would I." She walked through the illusion, which dissolved like the others, revealing a simple door. Beyond it was a circular room. The walls were lined with what looked like thousands of glowing orbs. In the center stood the emissary. "Impressive," it said. "No one has ever completed the labyrinth before." "I'm not interested in your approval," Olivia replied. "I want my people released, all of them." The emissary moved its hand toward the orbs. "Each of these contains the mind of one of your colonists. Their bodies remain in your colony, but their thoughts are here, with us. Put them back, now." "It is not that simple." The creature moved closer. "The Convergence has found something special in you, something we have never seen before. Not just resistance, but something more. We believe you could help us truly understand your kind." Olivia felt the pressure against her mind grow stronger. "What are you doing?" "Not taking." Commander, for once offering. Suddenly images flooded into her mind. The history of the Morsoth, how they evolved from separate beings into the Convergence, the loneliness of their existence, their endless search for new minds across the stars. "Stop," she gasped, falling to one knee. "The Convergence now sees value in your kind," the emissary continued, "not as parts to be absorbed, but as equals. We have never met minds that could resist us. It interests us." Through the mental attack, Olivia realized something important. "You're afraid of us." The pressure stopped suddenly. The emissary stepped back. Not fear. Respect. It seemed to think carefully before speaking again. "We offer a new deal. We will free your colonists and leave your system. In exchange, we request voluntary communication with your fleet leaders to establish borders, territories." Olivia stood up again. "And if I refuse, then your backup plan begins. Your ship tries to create an energy pulse. It will fail. The Convergence will adapt and your people will join us anyway." She studied the creature, finally understanding. Her resistance had shown them something new, a species that might actually threaten them. They were cutting their losses. "I accept your terms, with one addition. You will give us the technology to protect ourselves from your influence. Insurance against future misunderstandings." The emissary's form rippled again. "Agreed." Back at the base camp, the team couldn't believe what had happened. "They just gave up?" Greg asked, suspicious. "Not gave up," Olivia explained. "They made a strategic decision. They realized we might be more valuable as potential allies than as absorbed minds." Diane studied the data tablet the emissary had provided. "This is incredible. Complete schematics for shields that can block their mental influence. But can we trust them?" Lisa asked. "What if this is just another trick?" "I don't think it is," Olivia said. "When I was in their labyrinth, I felt something from them I didn't expect. Loneliness. They've been traveling space for thousands of years, taking minds from other species. But they've never found anyone who could resist them, who could force them to actually communicate instead of just take." "So what happens now?" Greg asked. "Now we watch them very carefully as they return the colonists to their bodies," Olivia said. "The Valiant is monitoring their ships. If they try anything, we still have our backup plan." The process began an hour later. In groups of 50, colonists began to wake up from their frozen state. Many were confused and frightened, but physically unharmed. Medical teams checked each person carefully. Most remembered nothing of their time with the Morsoth. Others reported strange dreams of being part of something vast and ancient. A few seemed changed in subtle ways, more thoughtful, with a distant look in their eyes. Dr. Diane examined the brain scans from the recovered colonists. There's something interesting here. Small changes in their brain chemistry. It looks like the exposure to the Morsoth field has created a kind of natural resistance. If they tried to take these people again, it would be much harder. And the emissary knew this would happen, Olivia realized. They weren't just studying us, they were testing us, seeing how we'd adapt. By nightfall, half the colonists had been returned. The Morsoth promised the rest would be released by morning. Their ships had begun moving away from the planet, maintaining only a minimal presence. As the sun set, Olivia stood alone at the edge of the colony, looking up at the alien ships still visible in the darkening sky. She felt a faint touch on her mind, gentler than before, almost respectful. "You walked in where others turned away, Commander Reeves," the emissary's voice whispered. "The predators of hell backed off not because of your weapons, but because of your will. We will watch your kind with great interest." The voice faded, leaving her alone with her thoughts. Humanity had faced its first true challenge among the stars and survived not through superior weapons or technology, but through the strength of the human mind, its determination to remain free, its refusal to be consumed. As darkness fell, Olivia knew this was only the beginning. The universe had noticed humanity, and she would be there on the front lines ready for whatever came next. 2 weeks later, Olivia stood in the observation room of the starship Valiant, watching the last of the Morsoth ships vanish into the darkness of space. Behind her, Admiral Paul and a team of scientists studied the technology the aliens had provided, plans for shields that could protect human minds from the Morsoth influence. "They could have taken the whole colony," Admiral Paul said, joining her at the window. "From what you've told me about their abilities, they could have taken the planet if they wanted. Why didn't they?" Olivia kept her eyes on the stars. "I think they've been alone for a very long time, Admiral. They became something beyond individual minds but lost something important in the process. When they found they couldn't simply take our minds, it forced them to actually talk to us. And you believe their respect for humanity is real?" "I believe they recognized a line they couldn't cross," Olivia replied. "Whether that leads to lasting peace is something we'll have to see." Down on the planet's surface, the recovery work continued. All 8,000 colonists had been returned to their bodies. Most were physically fine, though many would need help to deal with what had happened to them. Some remembered nothing of their time with the Morsoth. Others had strange dreams of being part of something vast and ancient. Dr. Diane came to Olivia with her latest findings. "The brain scans from the colonists show something interesting. There are small changes in their brain patterns. Nothing harmful, but they all show increased resistance to the type of energy field the Morsoth use. It's like their exposure created a natural immunity, and the emissary knew this would happen," Olivia concluded. "They weren't just studying us, they were testing us, seeing how we'd adapt." The implications were huge. Humanity had survived its first meeting with a truly alien intelligence, not just beings with different bodies, but creatures with a completely different way of thinking and existing. Communications. Officer Lisa joined them, holding a tablet. "Commander, we've decoded more of the data they gave us. It's not just shielding technology. There are star maps, locations of other alien groups, even some kind of communication system we could use to contact them. They're inviting us to the table," Admiral Paul realized. "Yes, sir," Olivia agreed. "But we should move carefully. The Morsoth changed their approach when they saw they couldn't simply take what they wanted. That doesn't mean they've completely changed their nature." As the Valiant prepared to leave the system, Olivia spent one last night on the colony. Standing in the plaza where she had first faced the emissary, she felt a faint echo of its presence, a whisper at the edge of her mind. "You walked in where others would not, Commander Reeves. The predators of hell backed away, not from your weapons but from your will. We will watch your kind with great interest." The voice faded, leaving her alone under alien stars. Humanity had faced its first true test among the cosmos and survived, not through better weapons or technology, but through the strength of the human mind, its ability to adapt, its refusal to be controlled. 3 months later, Olivia sat in a conference room at Fleet headquarters on Earth. Representatives from all human colonies had gathered to hear her report and decide how to respond to the Morsoth situation. The shields are working, she explained to the assembled leaders. We've installed them on all major colonies and ships. If the Morsoth return, they won't be able to take control of our minds. And you believe they will return? Asked one of the colony governors. Yes, Olivia said simply. Not as enemies, necessarily, but they're curious about us now. We're the first species they've encountered that could resist them, which makes us dangerous to them, added Admiral Paul. Or valuable, Olivia countered. They've been traveling space for thousands of years, taking minds from other species, but they've never had to actually communicate with anyone. We forced them to try something new. After the meeting, Olivia received new orders. She would command a special task force dedicated to studying the Morsoth technology and preparing for future encounters with alien intelligences. The Valiant would be her flagship, with an expanded crew of scientists and specialists. There's something else you should know, Admiral Paul told her privately. The colonists from New Hope, we've been monitoring them closely. The changes in their brains, they're spreading. Spreading? How? It appears to be transferable through close contact. People who spend time with the former colonists are developing the same resistance. We're calling it the Morsoth immunity. It's passing from person to person, slowly making humanity resistant to their influence. Olivia felt a chill. The emissary knew this would happen. We think so. The question is, was this their plan all along? Did they want to make us immune? Or did they make a mistake? Olivia wondered. Either way, we need to understand it better. 6 months later, the Valiant hovered at the edge of explored space. They had been tracking unusual energy signatures that matched the Morsoth ships. Commander, said Lisa from her communication station, we're receiving a transmission. It's like the emissary's voice, but different. Olivia felt a familiar pressure at the edge of her mind, gentler than before. We have been watching, Commander Reeves. Your kind spreads through the stars, carrying the change we began. Soon all humans will be beyond our reach. This was not our intent, but perhaps it is for the best. There are others in the dark between stars, others who take minds in different ways. You may be better prepared to face them now. They're warning us, Olivia realized. There are other threats out there. The voice continued. We offer an alliance, freely chosen, not as predator and prey, but as different kinds of minds with a common goal. Survival in a universe filled with dangers neither of us fully understands. Olivia looked at her crew, then back to the stars. Tell them we're listening, over the yaw. Next year, humanity expanded its presence in space, always alert for new encounters. The Morsoth kept their distance but maintained communication, sharing information about regions to avoid and potential threats. Other colonies reported strange ships at their borders, vessels unlike any human or Morsoth design. Something was moving in the darkness between stars, drawn perhaps by the news that a species had resisted the convergence. On the bridge of the Valiant, now leading a fleet of exploration vessels, Olivia studied the reports from the border regions. New challenges were coming, new tests for humanity. Commander, Lisa called from her station. Unknown ships approaching from Sector 7, not Morsoth. They're not responding to communications. Olivia straightened her uniform and took her place in the command chair. The crew looked to her with confidence born from their shared experiences. All ships, battle stations, she ordered, calmly. Let's show them what happens when they threaten humanity. As the unknown vessels approached, Olivia felt no fear. She had walked into the darkness before and emerged stronger. She had faced the predators from hell and watched them back, away. Whatever came next, humanity would face it together, with open eyes and unbroken wills. End.